director, the public library.
Yep.
Can't believe that chicken's fantastic.
Ninja grill was good.
We had good 3 weeks ago when they had that regular chicken. Said it was good 3 weeks ago when they put it out on the shelf and make it seem that as regular chicken. Put a piece of bread on it, the red stuff.
Pretty good. I like it.
You're right. Mr. Barr, you all?
How are you, Miss Stephanie? How are you?
We lost Cody somehow.
The one time I don't print off the agenda,
Yeah.
he doesn't give me the blue copy.
I did remember to bring this.
One time I don't print off the agenda, you don't get a blue copy. She is nice. Here, keep all my stuff. It's okay, we're good. I'll get it. The blue copy. Just sounds so fancy when I have to read it
We're
now.
gonna print you a blue agenda.
I'm ready.
Okay.
She won't print it.
Oh, okay.
Just give it.
Give it. No problem. Ready to just hold this down?
In that classroom, Mr. Buckley does. Yes.
How are you?
They
How are you, Jeff? You all don't have to be quiet. We gotta give Lisa just a few minutes here to get some paperwork and then we'll get started.
How are you?
We could probably add that to a list.
That's what I'm doing.
We could do that. Let me talk to Mr. Buckley.
Did we handle applications?
No.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now look through that.
Everything conditioning, correct?
Spring conference.
It's the worst time.
Thank you.
I know they do a little bit, but to the degree of actually making commercials. To the degree of making commercials, yeah.
I'll find out. You know what, the streaming, this, it has been great. I have been listening to all of them. I am very grateful for that part.
Alrighty, everyone, it's 5:03 and I'll call this meeting to order. Alright, we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. If everybody will stand. Dr. Barr, can you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. We have no delegations at this time, and so we will move into reports, and we have the Gilmer County Public Library with Sherry West and Heather Coleman.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hello. I wanted to introduce you to the new Public Library Director, Heather Coleman, and allow her an opportunity to share 2 or 3 of the things we're already working on. She has only been in the position for 3 weeks, but she is starting strong and just wants to briefly share 2 or 3 ideas with you.
I'm
Okay?
excited.
I am also excited, so thank you all for having me here today. It's hard to express actually how excited I am to take on this position. My main hope, of course, is to just continue on forward. We're being the information, entertainment, education, and inspiration center. I'm hoping, and I'm actually in the process of creating connections between the high school and the college. I think it's really important for the library to be able to stand in that gap there and facilitate as much as possible family and children programming, working directly with the schools. I've been in contact today, actually had a meeting with Ashley Barker. We're talking about integrating STEM ideas and other things and working together going forward with that. I've been having conversations with Larry Baker about bringing some physics down. He and I actually have a whole very exciting idea that we're going to be moving forward here with in a couple of weeks once finals are all graded and whatnot. And that's going to be off of Professor Emeritus Ralph Bame's trips and the things that we were doing at the college for many years that he's been doing. So we're very excited about that. The summer reading program is almost ready to be launched. I've just worked really hard on that for the last couple of weeks, just trying to get everything together. And Sherry is just wonderful. She's been facilitating a lot of what I am trying to do. And she and I are going to be working really closely together on that as well. And we're looking forward to hosting her students for a great fun pentathlon day at the library this summer as part of the reading program. So we're very excited about that, and I'd like to say thank you for everything that the board has done, especially in regards to helping with the utilities. That's a wonderful blessing, and we're very, very thankful for that. So many exciting things happening, and we're just pressing forward and getting ready for that summer reading program, which I think is probably what I thought about the most in the last couple of weeks.
One thing I was just thinking about as you were talking, because of course the public library played a very big part of my childhood. That was our entertainment here. And do they do a program now where they get kids library cards in school?
Well, Sherry, do you want to speak to
Well,
that?
when we went last summer, our summer students, they were able to fill out library cards, and we returned those and gave them their first library card. So we do that in the summer program.
I wonder if we could do that for all kids in our county, just to give them that pathway. I know with my older daughter, some of her friends in middle school and high school were avid readers, but they didn't use the public library. And I just wondered if maybe they were introduced earlier and got their library card and understood the concept, if maybe that would continue on into, you know, since they could just go across the road and check out books in middle school and high school. I wondered if that
That's something we will work on.
would be
Yes, something we're
something to-
definitely, yes, we'll have to work on, absolutely. And as you are thinking about budget for next year, if you would think about the utility reimbursement that you work with the public library on, possibly increasing that sum. Utilities have gone up for all of us. And so if you would just keep that in mind as you're making plans with the budget to keep the
I was
public
thinking,
library.
is that 8,000
It's
now?
8,000 at this time, yes. Yes, we would appreciate that.
Yeah, it would mean a lot, and it would help us to meet our goals. So
All right.
we thank you very much for your time.
Well, thank you
Thank
very much
you.
for
Thank
coming.
you. Dr. Benny, do we have any other reports? Alrighty, then we'll move on to the consent agenda. And we'll start with the minutes. I think everybody has copies.
Yeah. I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda, or the minutes for the April 18th special meeting, the levy meeting, and then the April 24th regular meeting.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Alright, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the April 18th special meeting, the April 18th levy meeting, and the April 23rd, 2023 regular meeting. Is there any discussion to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries.
I'm gonna abstain.
Okay.
I wasn't at all those meetings.
Okay. Alrighty, so Clay, we are to the treasurer's report.
Good evening. What you had in your packets for the meeting this evening was a schedule of checks to be written and budget transfers to date. You'll get a financial report for April at the next meeting. Are there any questions with the schedule of checks to be written or the budget transfers?
No.
No,
I don't have.
this, okay, wait a minute, this is not, okay, no.
Alright.
I make a motion to approve the schedule of checks to be written and budget transfers.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the schedule of checks to be written and the budget transfers. Is there any further discussion or amendments to the main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Cody, we got the golden horseshoe.
Okay. Alright, so we'll just take the item as present. I can move back to the agenda. So we'll go back to the report section and start with the golden horseshoe winners. If somebody will make that presentation.
Oh, boys. I am so proud that Michael Holmes and Caleb Pounds are the Gilmer County winners for the Golden Horseshoe this year. And Caleb is the son of Todd Pounds and Jessica Hutchison of Glenville. And Michael is the son of Stephanie Freimeyer of Glenville. And they are going to be knighted at 11 o'clock on June the 13th in Charleston. And I couldn't be more proud of these two fine young men. They have distinguished themselves academically. They have, will continue to distinguish themselves as they progress through Gilmer County High School. They've demonstrated superior knowledge of the great state of West Virginia. And I never see these guys in any place other than lunch and the classroom. They never come through the office, and when I called them, they thought that they were in trouble. They were sweating bullets. And I said, well, do I look like I have the mean face? No, but we can't figure out while we're here. And I said, well, I've got some really good news for you boys. So I am just very, very proud of them. And then what Michael told me was, he said, I'm not even a native West Virginian, I'm from Texas. So I am just very, very proud of these two.
Yes. Well, congratulations, gentlemen.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Alrighty, we'll move back. You all are welcome to stay, or if you need to go, that's more than fine too.
See y'all.
See ya.
Mass exodus.
Well,
You acted like you were expecting a comment or something up there today.
I kept thinking, there's a lot.
I was,
Not have another.
I'm saving all my energy for the second part.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Okay, so, alright, we will go back to the agenda and start with, new business item, letter A, renewal of Ramsey Lawn Care contract. Dr. Benny.
I just recommend making a motion to approve the renewal of the Ramsey Lawn Care service for mowing and servicing Gilmer County schools for $20,000 for the 2024 school year. I think that is a really good deal, guys. And not only on top of a really good deal, I don't know if you've looked, they do a really good job.
Yeah, they
They're
do,
excellent.
they do.
They are
Um,
excellent.
That's for the 24, that's not for the rest of this year, because we'd
No.
already, I was gonna say, it already
Yeah,
signed
that's
up.
the-
So we're just putting this,
To
getting
next
ahead.
year, they'll have it
Okay.
next year again for the same
Okay.
cost, and you know the cost of everything has went up.
Mhm.
It's being really fiscally conservative, and they do a great job.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to accept the superintendent's recommendation on the renewal of the Ramsey Lawn Care contract. Is there any further discussion or amendments to the main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. All opposed, motion carries. Alright. We will now move down to letter B, approval of Gilmer County High School East Wing asbestos abatement.
This would just be, giving you guys a heads up that we would like to allocate, this isn't, we've actually spent the money yet, but we'd like to allocate around $50,000 to remove the asbestos so we could do the tiling project. The tiling project's gonna affect every single classroom in that entire east wing, in grades 6 through 8. It is a good update to update and renew our classrooms, and we'd had that discussion earlier, but, we think we can come in and around that range. We don't wanna spend over that. We have budgeted around $100,000 for those things, the tile project. Of course, the asbestos abatement's gonna eat a lot of that up, but we'd like to say we're asbestos-free in the east wing. So this is just to make a motion, to allocate up to $50,000 for the asbestos abatement. Of course, we'd have to get bids and things like that.
Right.
We haven't got the company, but we wanna get you guys on board before we start the process.
Well, we don't really have any choice.
Yeah, true.
So moved.
Second.
Alrighty, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the superintendent's recommendation on, Gilmer County High School's East Wing asbestos abatement project. Is there any further discussion or amendments? to that motion?
Is this the same tiling project, though, that was on the list in our, yeah,
One that was slated for the summer.
okay.
Any further discussion?
With the asbestos, so this would make the east wing free, does that mean that there's still asbestos
I
elsewhere?
think
in
they've
the
already
school?
done that in the west wing, haven't
I
they?
think everything else is
Yeah,
good.
I think we're good.
So would the whole school be asbestos free at that point, we think?
I
I think so.
Well, isn't there still where we have to do the tiling for the lockers?
No, that's what they're talking about in the east wing. The west wing, I think, is asbestos free.
It is.
Yes,
But
it
the
is.
east wing has asbestos,
What are
cause
you
it hasn't
talking
been
about?
done.
Are you talking about in the east wing?
Are we talking about the high school or the junior high?
We're talking
Junior high.
That's what the lockers are in the high school wing.
They're in both.
Need to
If they're
both.
both.
Oh,
And
have
it
they
doesn't-
already redone the tile?
No.
No,
That's
So
what
there's
we're
still,
getting-
there still is
that's
asbestos
what we're
there.
asking approval for.
Yeah.
They've
To
apparently
allocate
in the
money.
past handled the west wing, and this is,
We've already had the money allocated towards that,
so,
for the high school wing.
Yes, they've already.
That's
That's
already been done.
what
That
that-
has been done.
Yeah.
I just
So
wanted to
moved.
clarify. Yep.
Second.
Okay, we already had a motion on the floor, so we can just proceed
Oh,
to a vote.
okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, any abstentions?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
I like for my questions to be answered.
Alrighty. We'll move on to approval of Gilmer County High School tile replacement in the east wing hallways and classrooms and west wing hallway. Dr. Kenny.
So, on top of, when we redid the lockers, we needed to, you could see that there was places that didn't have tile because of the removal on both sides, east and west wing. The east wing is what, had the asbestos under it, we were gonna have to abate that before we could retile. The west wing is where we had, just different holes in different places where we had to retile. So this would just be to allocate $50,000 to add the replacement cost for the tile in both of those sections. We planned on doing all of the east wing, the classroom and the hallway, and this year we plan on doing just the hallway with tidying up where the lockers were replaced in the west wing. So we ask that we allocate that money before we start getting bids and things like that on that project, because we'd like to be able to do that over the summer, and we need to know that we have your guys' support to allocate our monies for that before. Of course, we'll have bids and different things like that you'll approve, but we wanna know we've got everybody's backing to tidy that stuff up.
And this is to retile both the east wing and west wing hallways.
East wing would be the hallways and classrooms where we do
Oh,
the
and
asbestos
classroom.
abatement.
Yeah.
And then the west wing would just be the hallway this year. We plan on doing the classrooms at a different time. We don't think we can get all that done for $100,000.
It's
Is
pretty
that
ambitious.
both floors on the east? Or is
Yes.
it just?
Yes.
And both floors have the holes and, you know, the different patched where we've took the old lockers out, we've taken those out. There's areas without tile. And then, we just can't go lay tile on top of that because it's got asbestos on it. We need to remove that and then add back. And then in the west wing, there's spots both upstairs and down where we just plan to go through the hallway and remove the old tile and put the new down.
And we have cash available for.
I thought when we talked about the tile project for the high school wing, because of the lockers, there is still asbestos out there because there isn't, even in the hallway where we redid the locker?
No.
I don't think so.
I thought
We
that was the whole
actually
thing to why we had to redo the whole tile, all the tile, was because it had been stacked up and been
That
tiled
was
on
on the
top.
east wing.
That was the.
That was on
That
the
was the
east
east
wing.
wing. In order for us to remove the east wing tile, we have to do an abatement as well.
So so the east wing,
The middle, the junior high wing.
it still has asbestos in the hallway.
Yes, from the
The
original.
west wing, the high school,
We should be clean.
but there's still tile problems where the lockers.
Yeah, absolutely. It's still
Are we
not-
gonna retile that whole floor, or are we gonna put in?
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna take the
Upstairs and
tile out.
See, when we voted the last time on the tile thing, that's what I was under the suspicion that there was still asbestos under that hallway. I was just,
The way I mean,
We-
that's what I understood, that there's asbestos in the east wing, not in the
east
west wing.
Yeah.
Not the west.
And the tile project, they have actually tested, correct, Clay? We've actually had the west wing tested to make sure that we weren't just, because the records, we didn't find in the records where where it was removed, but we went in and had it tested, previously, and it's not supposed to be in the west wing. In the east wing, it is asbestos and has to be abated before we could, it would be nice that we didn't have to abate, it would be, you know, a lot cheaper. We could get a lot more of it done if we didn't have to have the abatement in
I
the
guess-
east wing.
I guess my question is, to think about it too is, you know, I don't always remember, so when the renovations happened, you know, how old are each section of the school, I guess is one way to look at it, right? So if it's not a certain age, it's not gonna necessarily have asbestos in it, like especially the additions with, like, you know, the
Yeah, the whole
band and
middle
everything over there, but, and then they may have, you know, changed things when they added on to the west wing, I don't know, but I guess that's a bigger conversation than what we're doing right now.
Right, what, my understanding is that, of course, they remodeled that school in 1998 or 9, and when they remodeled that, they built new wings, science wings and things like that, they remodeled that middle section, that was all built new. For some reason, the abatement was never completed in the east wing.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Realistically.
So when we've had that tested, and it's gonna have to be before we can go, we've gotten so many layers of tile, we can't just lay another layer of
I was
tile.
gonna say, didn't we have the conversation that asbestos is on
I
the
thought
back
that
when
was
you
under both wings. though.
when you
No, it's
remove
not.
it, and that's
Yeah.
why.
That's fine.
It's just under.
But when, you know, we voted on the tiling, that's what I thought that both wings were like that. I knew that was the problem, but I thought it was in both sides.
It's, as far as we know, it's just in the east wing that we've gotta do the abatement.
That's fine.
Okay, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, been properly moved and seconded to accept the superintendent's recommendation on the Gilmer County High School tile replacement of the east wing hallways and classrooms and the west wing hallways only. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. All righty, we will move on to letter D, permission to remodel the boardroom.
So this remodel would be a boardroom remodel with a training facility type of adding, where we would be able to use a board wired in where I could present to you guys and not have my board and it'd be lower because I'm very short and I'm actually reaching.
Step stool would be cheaper.
And it would actually, it would be, we would have all of these wires and snakes and all of this stuff going from the front. And these would be, we're working with and I've got $50,000 there as an astronomical amount. We're working with the Career Center, and I think that we've allocated around $10,000, and he's going to try to build, and they're going to do this for their summer project. They're going to try to build the whole thing here, what we set behind, and then we're going to try to get this stuff all wired in to where we can have not a trip hazard and a microphone sitting out and all of that, and turn this into a facility where we have our history and stuff and repainted and all of that, TV taken down and so on and so forth. I don't think it'll ever cost any of that amount, but it is gonna take some technology and some stuff to wire here, some wiring. We plan on having this built up on like a 2x6 stage, and he will have a oak that should match that presentation piece right there, an oak table, and you guys will have a lip table here that you'll be able to set a computer behind, and the microphones and things will all be hidden, and there won't be any of these cords and things. And like I said, Paul Parsons and Brian Stearns are who we plan on working with for that. They're going to do the work with the students. They're going to build it. It's going to be a tongue and groove blonde oak like that as far as our table, and then we're going to try to get some other things to be put in here, and hopefully be able to use this as a training facility as well as a boardroom. And we do have a scheduled event here. The Retired Teachers Association in this area is going to come June 14th. So we've got some interest in setting this up for a training facility that we're going to be hosting some events where they could come and present. And it really is a nice space to be able to host people. And we've been doing our mission, our different work sessions and things in here, so it'd be really nice to be able to have that. I've got $50,000 on there. Hopefully it will never take that amount, but I'd like to be able to allocate up to that, because we do also plan, instead of having this camera system that Lisa turns by hand, we plan on actually having a camera system that can record our meetings and things like that, and a hidden away setup where it's kind of in a U shape to where we can actually, instead of leaning out like this, we can actually see everybody as we have a meeting.
2 questions. So if we allocate 50 and we don't use 50, what happens to the money at that point? Just back in the budget.
It's just in the budget, yeah. Hopefully, my hope is that this is between, I'm hoping this is between $10,000 and $20,000 to make it all happen.
It would just be carried forward as general use or whatever. And then, so we have 150,000 total, so we're good on after all these allocations.
I had a mild heart attack when I got Clay's email, and I was like, what? So,
Buy a lot of textbooks.
yeah, I was like,
All right, do I have a motion?
You wanna go there?
So moved.
second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to accept the superintendent's recommendation on the remodel of the boardroom. Is there any further discussion or amendments to the main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Alrighty.
Yeah, this was the one.
Alrighty, we'll move on to approval of moving funds from the Calhoun CD to the United Bank general account. Clay, do you have any?
I'll go ahead, I kind of talked, I'll just make the motion. Sounds like what we need to do, because I saw it and I called in and asked questions, but if you want to tell them your spiel.
Like I sent you a brief email, just trying to keep it short. We've got all these projects going on, and just so everybody's clear and it's out there, we're not short on cash. We're not having cash problems. What you need to understand, what the public needs to understand, is that CD is sitting out there separate from our general checking account. So we need to move funds into our general checking account to keep all these projects going, because what you need to understand is that these projects, by and large, are reimbursement based, the bigger ones. The multi-million-dollar ones are reimbursement based. We have to spend the money and then wait to get it back. With that in mind, it is my recommendation that we move $500,000 from that Calhoun CD into our general account to try to mitigate any circumstance to where, oh, crap, we got payroll tomorrow and I'm waiting on a reimbursement. What do I do now? That's what I get paid to do, is look out for those
Yeah.
instances.
Well, I just didn't see that at first, and I was
Right.
like, what?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, no.
And then I read more, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
It's not
I
as easy to
understand.
move that money just with the snap of a finger as well.
It shouldn't take very long, but I don't want to, you start paying all these invoices. We
Yeah.
just, not too many meetings ago, it was $300,000 to ESG for HVAC. It doesn't take a lot. A payroll running right now is about $300,000 per payroll.
Yeah, and the issue is
Had a mild heart
waiting
attack, and then I
on
read
the
more.
government, the state especially, they'll pay you when they decide to pay you.
Yeah.
So it takes quite a long time.
My only question was the interest that we're getting with that CD, because that was one of our previous meetings. If we take that out, we lose that interest.
Yeah, you probably,
To wait, so if we waited
We
to the
gotta
last
cover
minute, but.
The bills.
That was the only-
Just for the reimbursement, it's like 700,000 for the animal processing
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah,
We're
that's,
only
the
way-
SBA project is like 700 and some
50
odd thousand dollars.
something.
We have to pay for that up front and
Yeah.
then submit invoices to SBA and get paid for it.
Well, after I understood that, I was
Yeah.
okay. I was like,
Yeah.
So with that being said, just to let the public know, these funds will be going right back in
Yeah.
when these completions of these
Yeah,
projects are
when
complete.
we receive reimbursement. for
All right, I
that.
make a motion to move $500,000 from the county bank CD, and in case of emergency until we get the SBA reimbursement, and then after our SBA project is finished, we can put the money back in. Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to move $500,000 from the Calhoun CD to the United General Account for the projects that we currently have going on. Is there any further discussion or amendments to the main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Alrighty. Next under is approval of out-of-state field trip, into Kennywood.
So
Dr.
moved.
Manning.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the out-of-state field trip to Kennywood. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Alrighty, and we will move into old business, Gilmer County Elementary School Storage Building.
We don't have an update to give. We're still working on value engineering. Haven't gotten back yet. We're still trying to hit our magic number, and we haven't got an update back that has been fruitful enough to put in front of you.
Alright.
Okay.
Thank you.
Alrighty, we will move into personnel and start with professional personnel. Dr. Manning.
Professional personnel, I make the recommendation to hire Trevor Wright, Social Studies, Gilmer County High School, and Carol Edwards, Substitute Teacher, Gilmer County Schools.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the personnel section of the personnel agenda. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Alrighty, we'll move on to service.
Service personnel, recommendation, Anthony Canfield, custodian, Gilmer County High School, Sam Perrin, substitute bus driver, Gilmer County Schools.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the service section of the personnel agenda. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Alrighty, at this time, before we move on to the extracurricular portion, I'll recuse myself and have Vice President Freshour chair this section of the agenda.
How exciting.
Who do you know on that list?
Committee?
Yes, I make the extracurricular recommendations. Amber Fox, Project Connect Coordinator, that should be, Gilmer County Elementary School, and McKinley Buckley, Project Connect Coordinator, Gilmer County High School. We'll do a flip-flop there. Heidi Lindsay, Summer School Secretary, Gilmer County Elementary School. Mike Haley, resignation, Assistant Varsity Football Coach, effective 5/1/23. And the recommendation to hire Jacob Wolf, Head Varsity Golf Coach.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So, bring it
Oh,
back in.
Cody.
Cody!
You should have heard what they said.
It's in the minutes.
Okay. So we'll move on to permission to post and start with summer painting positions.
So our goal, of course, we've got a lot of different projects going on for the summer, and we hope to set up all of our schools on a painting schedule. So every so many years, and I'm just gonna throw a number out there, say every 5 years our classrooms get painted. We need to hire some summer painters in order to have this happen. So, in order to make that happen this year, we're gonna have to post the positions, actually have them take the painter's test, and pass the test and hire a group of summer painters.
Are we not gonna look at this as like a bid job?
Well, we thought about looking at portions of it as a bid job, but we would like to be able to have our own service people be able to be hired during the summertime to do our painting in our schools. Set them up, say we paint 10 classrooms a summer. Every 6 years it would rotate, and there would be that many we would be finished with our painting schedule on a rotation. This is separate from coming through and hiring a company and kicking out maybe a portion of the elementary, because there's a lot of painting that needs to be done this year. This would be separate. This would be, hiring some summertime painters, because we have some really good service people that can paint.
Yeah, I'd rather
That
keep
just
the
love
money
work and paint.
in-house.
And then, the big jobs, we bring in front of you and bid out maybe hallways at the elementary or cafeteria at the elementary, but some additional summertime painter positions, if that makes sense.
So, I recommend making a motion to provide permission to post a summer painting position in Gilmer County Schools.
You recommend or you are making a motion?
Making a motion.
Second.
Okay. Been properly moved and seconded to approve the summer painting positions permission to post. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Gilmer County High School principal permission to post.
So, I've done a search with our current posting and supplement and amount of days. I've got very few applicants. I have conducted a certified list search, and our applicants the supplement that they get is very minimal. I looked at all of the surrounding areas, and we're very far behind as far as the supplement to the high school principal and days. This is kind of a recommendation to increase the supplement and days. One of the things that I propose that this could do, and I know that it might be an increase and it might be sticker shock. Right now, this would be a $7,000 increase to the high school supplement. However, and it would increase the number of days from a 240 to a 250. However, that $7,000 seems like a lot. We've added several new programs that I think this person could be a part of, and develop a contingency plan for summer school. When I asked Mrs. Mason what the summer school administrator makes currently, she said about $11,000. So I was adding the summer school requirement to this position. Our summer school funding will not last forever. We are going to have to come up with a contingency plan to have an administrator for Gilmer County Schools summer school if we want to continue to offer summer school programming. So my solution for both was to the things like dual credit and summer school and CTE middle school expansion, different things that we talked about doing. Adding that as job posting requirements. And then increasing the supplement because they will be working this time period during the summer. They will be planning this time period during the summer. And increasing the supplement. So currently we have a combined supplement of $3,000 plus the state supplement. What I'm proposing is to increase that to $10,000 with the state administrative supplement for 250 days. Now, I know it seems crazy to think that we're going to increase the supplement and save money, but we could increase the supplement and save money by reducing the need to hire summer school administrators, both facilities. This person would be the summer school administrator in the district and work a 250-day contract. I think that it would also provide us enough meat on the bone to get some people interested in the job and make us competitive with the local counties, surrounding counties. So I'm really hopeful that we'll get a bigger applicant pool from within and from outside the district for the high school principal's position. And the position really has changed. We're hoping, that we can include things like CT expansion, the expansion of the dual credit program, the partnership with the college, the Grow Your Own program, Project Lead the Way, and then we talked summer school expansion. That would be another available avenue for us to be able to say, we have a summer school administrator on duty in Gilmer County Schools. By saving that money there, then we can hire summer school folks to provide credit recovery and learning loss type of things.
I like that idea.
Yeah, me too.
The only thing that's going through my mind is that, with Tyson, like in healthcare where we're paying all these new nurses bukus of money and we're not, upping the retention for our current staff. I just don't want, him to feel slighted or anything if this position pays more than what, he's making, so.
Absolutely.
He'll have the opportunity to apply for it.
Well,
We
that's
have
true
talked
too,
about
but
that.
I value
I do,
loyalty
yeah,
and performance,
I know. And we've talked about it here
yeah.
too. When I did my research, believe it or not, and I know the people of Gilmer County probably think we're really overpaid, we are setting very, very much lower. Even Calhoun pays bigger supplements than us.
Yeah. And I'm fine with that, just keep that in mind that, keeping the good people that
I
we have
understand.
and keeping them happy and.
We've talked about, and we're not ready to do any of this, but I've asked my mentor about this, and I've asked other people around the state about setting up the administrative supplements on an index system.
Yeah.
And being able to provide the people that, are here and work hard on an index system. And I'd like to present that idea to you all at some point in time, where they would be set up on an index system. But this could alleviate the lack of folks not signing up to take on those roles. It's a tough job, guys. It's a really
I think
hard
it's
job.
a good idea, I think.
And it can also provide us a summer school administrator, which we're gonna need when what I call the COVID funding runs out. We're gonna have to have a plan B to have summer school.
Well, and
have
that's,
somebody on duty.
that's a massive thing, isn't it, the summer school? Isn't
It
that
is.
through Save the Children now?
Save the Children's part and then some of the ARP funding.
So that's gonna be a
Currently,
massive.
we're gonna have to come up with a contingency plan if we want
Yeah.
to continue to offer summer school.
So, make a motion to, rescind the current Gilmer County High School principal supplement and increase the future supplement to be combined for middle school and high school to $10,000 with the additional state administrative supplement currently offered, and provide the superintendent permission to post for a total of 250 days contract term length.
Second.
Okay, been properly moved and seconded to allow the superintendent to permission to post the Gilmer County High School principal position with the new additions and, rescinding of supplements and new supplements. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Alrighty, we will move on to itinerant school nurse.
This is a part of our personnel plan that I presented back during the RIF and transfer. We were too under in professionals. We've solved the service people, as you saw, the custodians are starting to apply and work their way through. It's still going to take some time, but we're hoping to be able to rescind and get everybody back. This is a part of that plan. This would bring us up to kind of net zero with professionals. The need that we have coming in is a very high medical need. The need that we have right now currently is a very high medical need. We have had some life-flighting situations. It's a need. If it wasn't, we wouldn't be adding this as an option. We would be looking at classroom, but it is a need and a liability for the board to have somebody.
We're trying to share one now, aren't we?
We have traditionally always had one school nurse, and that's why. And our medical need now is to the point where we need more.
I agree.
So make a motion to post an itinerant school nurse position.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the superintendent to post a itinerant school nurse position. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, we will move on to itinerant special education teacher, ALC.
This is another part of that original plan, that we riffed our aides because we knew the aides positions were going to come out with the additional hires with House Bill 3035. We are still receiving guidance on how to post those, and we don't really know what we don't know yet with how to post those to make them right, but we know the positions are there. So what we plan to do is we have already reduced the aid that's in there. We plan to post that back as a special ed teacher in ALC, provide special education services to those kids, expand that up through the 8th grade where we could do that. We listed itinerant just in case we're in a time period where there is nobody. That person can then go out and service students at the schools.
So what do we have in the ALC now?
Right now, we have an ALC teacher and an aide, and
So it's not a special ed
No.
teacher, right? Okay.
And we riffed the aide to make it just the teacher, and we were too professional under. So what we did was kind of flip-flop the need with professionals in the classrooms.
And how many students do we usually have in that ALC? Is that?
Sometimes one, sometimes 3 or 4. There's been 3 or 4 in there this week.
Okay. Well, that's still doable though.
You know, you really kind of need 2 people because of the severe need. And if we don't need 2 people, this is an itinerant that we can then send out and they can service students at the
So
school.
this is for the second one then?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And there's no aide or second person at the high school ALC.
There is not.
Okay.
But traditionally at the high school level ALCs, with the number of kids that we have there, if we ran high and they couldn't handle it, we would have a placement option at the career center during the day.
Yeah, that's true too. Okay, so we'll make a motion to provide permission to post an itinerant special education teacher for the ALC.
Second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded to give superintendent permission to post an itinerant special education teacher for the ALC. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries.
Sustain.
Alrighty. We will move on to special education teacher at Gilmer County Elementary School.
This is another part of that plan where we've got some teachers that have moved on, and we'd like to post the jobs back where they could be, rotate in our severe and profound class and do some different things like that. They're currently built into the budget, and they were built in this year's budget. This just gives us permission to post those jobs a little bit differently. We hope to be able to, like we said, we went deep on the aides to hopefully be able to put back some support by teachers. It's better for students to be able, for all of those types of things to happen, and it's better for the teachers to be able to rotate through. And we're working with Mr. Price to make that plan. But this would be a special education teacher that we would like to have service both regular ed, severe, and profound students.
So moved. Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to give the superintendent permission to post a special education teacher at Gilmer County Elementary School. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Alrighty, we will now move on to continuous improvement.
This is just a short update that I wanted to give you all. We were setting about 27% chronically absent. We have completed our chronically absent team of 10 logic model. We have set our goal. We would like to reduce, you guys that attended the strategic planning meeting understand that we'd like to reduce, and we're looking at hopefully around 5% each year for the next 3 to 4 years. We're currently at 27%, which is high. We've got to educate the parents, and I just wanted to give you guys a quick update and a copy. I will email you a copy out of our current logic model with all the steps that we are going to take next year. We have been discussing feverishly, Ms. Butcher's been at those meetings, she can tell you, we've been coming up with several good ideas about how we can get our students and our parents to understand the difference between truancy and chronically absent. Chronically absent, it doesn't matter if you have a doctor's note, anything. That's what our accountability data is based on, and we've got to try to find a way to help that. We've come up with a variety of different processes that we feel, from school calendar to schedules to student engagement, classroom engagement, reward frameworks, to get the students to come. Also reaching out to the parents, redoing our SAT processes, where we have the good old-fashioned parent meeting where we say, hey, we need you to schedule your doctor's appointments at the end of the day instead of at the beginning. And we are very hopeful with our participation that we had in our general summative assessment. We are very hopeful with just a little bit of outreach, our parents will partner with us and help us reduce our chronically absent rate. We had extremely good participation and attendance during both elementary and our secondary assessments. So we're very hopeful that we can try to piggyback off of that and create a lot of the similar things to move forward. And I just wanted to give you an update on that, and I will send you out a copy of the logic model and share the exact data that we have. But it's high. You guys have been to the state trainings. You realize that everybody has a chronically absent issue. There's very few districts in the state that have a low chronically absent rate. Those few districts are the top performing districts in the state. And in order for us to become a top performing district in the state, we do have to solve that issue. And that is one of those low hanging fruits that we think that we can jump on next year and solve with our accountability scorecard.
All right, and if we're getting continuous improvement, Dr. Money, you can continue into the superintendent's update.
Okay, so update, PL day conversions. Maybe this is egg on my face, but we have constantly been able to use bank and NTID days and change those days around. We are no longer able to do that. We have been given guidance from the State Department that we cannot use those equivalent time for anything but emergency school closure days. And that is it. So we already had converted those days to PL days, and we're going to have to bring students in those last 2 days of school. We still need PL days. So what we're gonna do is offer the students to come and hopefully be able to juggle the professional learning that we've already got scheduled. There, I don't think it has anything to do with us, but there was, some maybe bad actors across the state. There were some districts that took advantage of it. Instead of doing PL, they just took Fridays off, for example, and did 5 or 6 of them in a row. And there have been some parents' complaints to the legislature, and they said, hey, this isn't what we intended. And it wasn't what they intended. We have read the code many times, and it says that we could use equivalent time for those improved instructional type of things. So moving forward, we'll just keep that in our mind with conversion, but the last 2 days of school, we will have the availability for students to come to school those last 2 days. And we will still offer professional learning to our staff and the things that we need to do before the beginning of the year.
Can I ask a question real quick? It was my understanding, at least at the high school, when at the original last day of school, that students were, or teachers were going to have to move out of their classrooms for, I don't know what it is, some kind of cleaning or some kind of.
It was for the tiling project.
Okay, so that surely that's all going to get pushed back, because there were some teachers worried about how are we going to do this last day.
They can't. We're going to have to push all that back, and we've got 3 weeks. We've got enough time to give them some heads up. I know the teachers, they're on top of it. They want to know right now, and I will get that information out to them as quick as I can. But we're going to have to push that kind of stuff back.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's just going to happen.
Yep. Nothing else we can do.
Does that affect the next year calendar at all? Did we allocate any days already?
Well, the only way that it affected next year's calendar is if we would have known this, we would have probably scheduled our PL days a little differently. However, we want our teachers to be able to come and have professional learning on those days. So we honestly did a pretty good job with our PL days. We were looking at different ways to use those days before breaks and holidays and things like that to better impact our attendance and our chronically absent rate. Each one of those days make up several percentage points of our chronically absent rate. So, but we've already approved that calendar. I will say this, they're looking to make physical changes to the actual code. If you go on the calendar guidance, what we were doing is actually a part of the guidance. It's just their guidance has changed. There have been people that just abuse and I get it, because I mean, it is a hardship on the parents to take 5 Fridays off in a row, and they're trying to arrange daycare services and things for their kids. The animal processing classroom, we've got the floor out, the ceiling out, it's amazing what all they've taken out of there. On day 2, it seemed like they had all that stuff out. It was amazing.
Floor was out and half the ceiling.
We are in the process of trying to find a sewage pipe feverishly. And we have another crew coming tomorrow to try to find the sewer pipe to hook the grease strap up to. It's, without getting too alarming, it's going to cost some money if we can't find the pipe where we need to find the pipe that's on the drawing. So we are looking, we have run a snake and a camera down every single sewer pipe we could find. And we're going to continue until we find the pipe. We do have Williams and Shriver folks coming tomorrow that designed it, and they're going to try to help us find the pipe that they originally designed it to. We did some exploratory digging today. We did not find the pipe.
Anything else?
We're looking for the pipe.
Any bodies?
So that's where we're at with it. They haven't made a lot of progress. They literally tore the entire floor out, the entire ceiling out, everything in a day.
Yeah.
It was amazing. That's how quick. I think if we find this pipe, they're gonna get it done quick. There is a little bit of black mold that's gonna need to be replaced. It's where there was something leaning up against the wall and where the welding booths were at, and it's caused a little bit of black mold. So they're gonna take that section out, make sure it's not, I think it's just surface.
So that's on the inside, not the outside.
It's on the inside, yeah.
inside.
And it's where they had a board, they actually had a piece of plywood laying on.
I'd say it was some kind of spark,
Yeah,
like fire.
Retardant.
yeah. Budget update, Clay's working. We've gotta have it done by the 12th. We wanna get to you guys as quick as we can. We'll try to get that all updated and ready and out to you, and then out for the general public for public comment. We will have to have a meeting, a special meeting on May 30th to approve that, because we have to have it out for 10-day comment period and the way that it falls in May. So that is one of those days when we went to look at the schedule, we're gonna have to have a special meeting. The Board of Education goals and superintendent goals, at the next board meeting, I would like to be able to have a work session and talk about those goals at 4 p.m., just like we did this evening, and discuss individual goals for me and your guys' goals. We have gotten quite a ways, and most of you guys have attended with the district goals. So to match my goals and the district goals and your goals and everybody to be on the same page is kind of the process that I'm hoping to get to. As far as other updates, one quick thing, I will be going through on Friday of this week, and I will be celebrating Teacher Appreciation Week. I'm going to be taking anybody that'd like to attend and shake hands and give the teachers a donut or a cookie. I don't know what I'll get yet, but I am going to be doing that Friday, and if anybody else would like to join me, I think it would be very nice to.
This Friday?
Yes.
When are you gonna be doing that?
I'm gonna be doing that, depending on whoever's scheduled that wants to come with me.
Okay.
Maybe in the morning, I thought maybe coffee and a donut, or maybe afternoon,
Okay.
cookies. I haven't decided donut or cookies, but if you guys could attend, anybody. I would do both, if anybody would like to go out Wednesday or Thursday, if we got more than 2 board members, is what I'm saying.
I can't
Okay.
Friday.
I'd like to be able to do that. The other thing is, we are planning our end of the year celebration for May 30th. And if you guys would clear your calendar, I would really appreciate for you guys to be there May 30th for a few hours, celebrate our teachers, our Teacher of the Year, our retirement. We have some donations flowing in. We plan on working with Airmark. The college has.
What time will that be, Tony?
It's 10.
Okay.
It's 10 o'clock. The college has already given us the ballroom for free. We've done that. We're trying to figure out how much local business support. We're getting very close, I think, right? To where we can buy the Airmark catered breakfast, and our teachers can be fed, and they'll get their service pins, and they'll get rewarded for Teacher of the Year and different things like that. We're also going to be giving away 10 outstanding partners awards. Each school is doing their own, and the people and the partnerships that have really made an impact this year, we've got a little memento that we will be giving those individuals. You know, we're hoping to recognize. We Save the Children, for example. They've provided a lot of support, and we're hoping to invite those people there, and we're hoping to have our donors there and present to thank them, and on a slideshow, because we've had several folks donate that help us we want to get back in the routine of providing our awards, our service pins, and things to our employees. We will also be recognizing our retirees at that banquet. That's all I've got.
Alright, we will move into board member comments. I'll try to make mine quick, but I've kinda got some stuff there that I just wanna let everybody know. So on May the 4th, the West Virginia School Board Association had a regional conference in Buchanan. Some of the stuff, the information I may have at least a copy for you all. They talked about the college going rate, and the West Virginia Invest program, which is the free tuition of community colleges. And our county specifically has a 46% college going rate, which is actually the state average. So I was surprised to see that on that poster. And again, we got a quick update, again, encourage your CTE expansion and things like that. within the school system. Then we have a lovely, long, 52-page update on the new legislation from the past legislative session, with all the new bills in it, and a breakdown of those per section that have to be, or that'll be in place in June. From what I could gather, probably out of that new legislation, there may need to be 12 new policies created, is what Jim Brown, the executive director, had mentioned, and they're going to work through that. But with Neola, I think that'll already be in our update from what I understand with Lisa. Those should be easy to work through. And then last, they covered, which is kind of where I wanted to go with my main part of my comments, was they covered the COVID relief funds that we have gotten and had a big presentation on it, and give us this handout, shows us when the deadlines are for those pots of money to be, spent out, and things, what you can spend it on, what you can't, the reporting and the monitoring of all that. So Clay, I would kind of like to see if we maybe the next board meeting, or if you just send out an email, kind of where we are, how much COVID funds we have left, what we've spent out, if they're designated for certain projects. Because I remember when I first got on the board, like 400,000 to the meat room, for animal processing. I just think if we could see an update on those COVID funds, and just something quick to get us, to make sure that we're not going to lose that money. Because basically, we were told if you don't spend it, you lost it, and that's what's going to happen, with those funds. But like I said, I've made everybody a copy of those handouts, and that was the main. And they also give us an agenda with the fall conference, winter conference, and the new orientation on it, so everybody has those dates to attend those meetings when they happen. Last thing, the Leading Creek Governance Board will meet tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. and it's going to be an in-person meeting over there. So it'll be the first time that I actually get to go over there on that committee and kind of tour the school and see, a final end of the year review on what they've done for the students in Gilmer County that attend that elementary school. And that's all I have at this time. Anybody other board member comments?
I have the Extension Service is holding a rain barrel workshop at the Normantown Historical Community Center on Wednesday, May 31st. The class is from 5 to 7, and there'll be a $30 charge for your rain barrel materials. You can contact the Extension Service at 304-462-7061, which is really a cheap way to get a rain barrel. I assume it's the whole shebang, but they're much more on Amazon.
Price a rain barrel. I don't think I've priced one before.
You should, they're so cool. I just had a couple concerns about the bus drivers that I talked to Dr. Minnie about, and one was the safety issue of the bus drivers knowing if a student had been expelled off the bus, so that they knew in the mornings that student wasn't to get off or on the bus, because they're kind of our first line of defense there. If a student that has been expelled tries to get on, and whether or not they would know to deny them. And the other thing was about radio contact at the end of their runs. Like a lot of the places, of course, in Gilmer County do not have cell service, and so they cannot call and talk to a person, and if there's not someone on the other end of that radio as they're finishing their run. And like the other day, there was a parent that wasn't at the bus stop to pick up a preschool student. So, just having that contact between the bus driver and the school at that time, and they didn't, so.
Anybody else?
I just wanted to say, unfortunately, I couldn't make it to the Calhoun Gilmer Career Center graduation, but congratulations to all those students. And then I believe it's the honors banquets this week as well. Wednesday.
Just wanted to throw this out there and offer this up. If you don't think it's necessary, then don't worry about it. But I know that I remember when I was a public school band, high school band director, middle school director, a lot of times we're kind of man with no country. You know, you got several math teachers, you got several English teachers, you probably have one music teacher, you got one PE teacher. Talking with some of my colleagues, I know that around the state when they do PLCs, a lot of times the music teachers and the PE teachers are told, jump in with a grade level, or, you know, jump in with a subject area, just go for it, which doesn't make it incredibly effective for those teachers. The clarinet professor at Glenville, who was also the full-time, she's been there about 18 years, music teacher at Point Pleasant Intermediate over in Mason County. I saw her give a great clinic at West Virginia Music Educators Association on how to build a really, really effective arts and elective PLC, where you're not just jumping in with another grade level, you're actually meeting with other like teachers and coming up with something that's effective. So I really don't know how the arts teachers at the elementary school and the high school do this right now. I'm just saying that as we kind of wind down the school year, I know you all have some days where you come in before the school year and you do some professional development. If that is something you are interested in, I'd be happy to facilitate that. If you would like her to come in and kind of give her presentation to our elective teachers, I think it could be beneficial.
Absolutely. I think it's something to run by Ms. Mason for when she's scheduling PD. That would be a good offer. Absolutely.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Good. Motion to adjourn.
I had, Cody and I had talked about doing something for teacher appreciation and wondered if you all wanted to go in with cookies, and I brought some cards.
Yes, I would.
We will get that out to them this week on whatever day that they don't have lunch or whatever, or work with.
Well, let me get a check from Kelly real quick, and then I'll be happy to chip in.
Oh, the irony.
I even brought her breakfast.
Oh, gosh, man.
Oh, the
How does she
irony.
rope us into this?
All right, Brett, do you have anything?
No.
Okay, and I think you got a motion.
Motion to adjourn, yeah.
Okay, is there a
Second.
second? All right, it's been properly moved and seconded, we adjourn the meeting, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, move meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
You guys want to sign this?
I do.